What's up? Today I wanted to speak on why it's so difficult for people to get playlisted these days. It was a question that came through to me. I think it was a very interesting one. It made me think quite a bit. But there's a few really simple reasons as to why I think it's so difficult for people to get playlisted, specifically on radio. This is what that particular person was referring to. So I think over the past 2 decades, more and more, like the amount of music that's coming out it's so much faster than it was in the past. Everybody who has a PC can put a song together. You don't have to be a beat maker to make beats. You can literally go on Splice, or you can go to anybody's website. They'll be giving away free beats and you can create music based on that. So the sheer volume of music that's being created is higher. The amount of artists creating music is higher. So if you were having issues 10 years ago, you're only going to have more issues now if you're using the same methods. And then if I go into the methods, we've got various methods of getting your music onto radio, right? They sort of all fall under under particular blankets. The first blanket would be through submission by yourself. So me taking my song, putting together my EPK, sending it out to radio stations and, maybe playlist managers, producers, DJs, show hosts, whatever it is, getting my music to them and somehow finding my in to getting the music playlisted, right? That's one way of getting it done. Then you've also then got submission, but by other people. So whether it be paying a plugger, paying some kind of agency or some kind of agency that's going to take your music, find places to place it and get it placed there in the same way they would do with PR or anything else. And then the third thing would be payola, basically, stepping forward and saying, I have music and I need it to be played. I have this amount of money. What can we do with it, right? So those are the three main blankets I see. There are many other ways and many other types of radio. We can get very, very get into the detail of it, but those are the three main ones. And with the added competition that there is out there, it's not going to be as easy to maneuver through all of that because everybody's using the same services. Everyone's just trying to get more business. The plugger's going to take not just your track and those 3 other tracks, but literally anybody else who can pay them. So your music, even when you use and invest money, those same avenues are now also becoming saturated. And I think that is probably one of the main reasons, the saturation of the music. The other thing I think is that, and this is more of an opinion, and that is style of music. And then I'll also then just talk about how music is consumed. So style of music, in that the styles of music are they're being perpetuated through the speed at which it can be created. So as a creator, you find you need to create more music. So you're going to go and find more methods to speed up your workflow. And speeding up your workflow might make your music sound a little bit more generic. You might pull in a sample, you might pull in a sound of today or a sound of this week and utilize it in your song just so that you can get more music out there. And that, sure, it will increase the amount of music that you're making, but it might take away the individuality of your music. This thing, it perpetuates, and it starts at radio and what we're listening to already, because people will make more of that. But it starts in the studio, in the creative process, from the writing, the lyrics and the subject matter, as well as the beats. Music producers are churning out beats like nobody's business these days, but it's because they're just pulling in sounds from elsewhere that have already been used before. And that again leads to a generic, the sounds are becoming more generic. Do you want to sound like so-and-so? Yes, don't worry, we can make you sound like them. Just grab these 3 samples, grab this plugin, put on some sausage fattener, add this master, and you're good to go. That's sort of that mechanical process that then starts to make the music sound a bit more generic. So that, I think, then also makes it so that by the time you get the beat, it's already sounding quite generic. You're happy with it and you write your generic lyrics over it. You just create another generic song that just gets thrown in the generic pile. And then you wonder why it doesn't get playlisted. I would then also say that, sure, we can talk about people's attention spans and how music doesn't last half as long as it used to. So your song needs to be quick and to the point. You can't be out here with an 8-bar intro that goes into a little bit of a verse, which then goes into a pre-chorus, and then eventually when you hit 1.5 minutes, you're in your chorus. People are bored at that point. Music and its structure is very, very different, right? which then brings me to my final point, which is music usage. Music usage has also changed. Music is played on what used to be played on the radio because those tracks were hot, they were popping at the time. Now you're dealing with a situation where you've got songs on the radio, but it's generally, whenever I turn the radio on, I hear Instagram and TikTok challenge music. That's all I'm ever hearing, which is why I can't really listen to it. Look, they'll interspace some other songs in there to make it sound as though it's still, real radio. But for the most part, what's popular is that one song. And you'll find that the far majority of these TikTok and Instagram, these songs that were created specifically for those platforms, they're not that good. They are very short, not to say a long song is better, but they're very short, they're baseless, they are, you don't get what you would get out of a song. If I'm listening to a song and I want to get 3.5 minutes worth of my time, I'm like, yes, this is a dope track. I'm getting a hook that goes into a very, like a 8-bar verse that then goes into another hook, maybe another 8-bar verse, and then the song ends. That's it. Nothing really special, but in the second verse, there was a section there, and that's the hook, right? That's the part that's being used repeatedly on Instagram, on Reels, and whatever it is. And I can't hate on that, right? That's how music has become. And again, it perpetuates the cycle. Do you then become a part of that and create music and filter into that machine? Or do you then step on the side and you create music the way that you want to? So that is going to be the game that you need to play, and that might actually then just lead you to not getting any radio play whatsoever. So yeah, it's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts and we can discuss it in the comments. Peace.